So what we see is they were immense individuals, pillars of zuhud. They weren't focused on how other people accepted them. They were focused on what we lack today. Acceptance does not come from human beings. You can accept me, you can accept me, but if my Lord on the Day of Judgment does not accept me, I am lost. Our focus is the focus of a servant. No matter who found what, they are all Abdullah or Abdullah. They're all the slaves of God. And as a slave of God, the first purpose of a slave is to obey his or her master verbatim, exactly how he or she wants. And that's what they did. They were known for their qiyam al-layl. They would stay up all night praying. They were known for their tahajjud. They were known for memorizing Qur'an. They were known to be ascetics. They disregarded this world. They did not seek payment. Imam al-Sayyuti did not take payment for his teaching. He lived off whatever he had to live off, and that was it. Fatima al-Fihri, who was the founder of the first, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the Qarawiyyin, the University of Qarawiyyin, the first university of modern day implications that gave out not scholarships, but degrees. She founded it. And who was she? The sister of Maryam al-Fihri. They were both the daughters of a great man who was extremely wealthy. And Maryam said, I'm going to build a grand mosque. And she built Al-Andalus Mosque, the grand mosque of Andalus. And she, Fatima, the sister, said, I will compete. But her competition was not for people. وَتَعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. They competed for righteousness and the fear of God. وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. So what did she do? She established a university, the first known and the one that still continues today. And what do we know about her in her biography? She fasted every day. Every day. When legally permissible. While the mosque and the university was being constructed. She fasted every day. And she would break her fast with prayers to her Lord for an acceptance of her deeds. That's who she was. She fasted. And when she built the university, she didn't go fundraising. She took her inheritance and she put all of that wealth into the university that exists today in Morocco. And everyone from that time, from 859 Common Era till here today, who has benefited from someone who attended there, or from some implicit or direct benefit, she gets the reward of. Look at the sincerity, fasting every day. She was praying to her Lord for acceptance. She used all of her wealth because she realized it does not mean anything to be a contributor to history if you cannot contribute to your future. We cannot contribute to history if we cannot contribute to our future. What good will it be if we discover great things, but our akhirah, our hereafter, is in the hellfire? So the first step to being a great contributor to history is to be a contributor to your future. You and I should be extremely introspective, and we should look and we should think, where am I not being submissive to my Lord today? Am I missing the morning prayer? Am I not lowering my gaze? Am I acting in a way that is not beneficial for humanity? Do I see scraps of dirt, or not dirt, of paper on the ground, and I walk past it? When I chew my gum and I drop the wrapper, who do we think we are? Are we so entitled that others will come behind and pick up our scraps after us? The janitor is the slave of God, and the professor is the slave of God. The teacher is the slave of God, and the doctor is the slave of God. The patient is the slave of God, and the student is the slave of God. We are all equal. We are all equal in His eyes. So if we want to contribute, we cannot be haughty. We cannot be arrogant. We cannot think of ourselves as anything. And this is why Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, who was a great man of history, when he was the head professor, the head teacher of the Nizamiyya, when he received this post at the age of 34, every science that he studied, he became the head, the foremost, the most progressed in that science, and every book he published became the foremost text in that science. But what did he realize? He realized that while on the surface he's benefiting the masses, he had diseases in his heart. And he realized while he was delivering eloquent lectures that was informing the masses, thousands of scholars would come sit in his lectures. The students could even make it into the door. They waited outside. The teachers and scholars would sit at his feet learning. He realized there was pride in his heart, that the way he dealt with human beings was not befitting of their humanity. And he took a leave of absence from his post as divinely established when he lost his voice. And he took this as a sign from God. And he left for 10 years. Imagine leaving the head post for 10 years, going and sitting in the mosque, the Umayyad Masjid, the Umayyad Masjid, the mosque of the Umayyads in Syria, in Damascus, living in the quarters of a minaret, and then making his wages by sweeping and cleaning the mosque. One day while he was sweeping the mosque, a man came to a scholar who was teaching in that. And what was he teaching? He was teaching a book of Imam Ghazali, but no one would recognize him because they heard and read about him, but no one saw him because they had not traveled to where he was. And so one day, when there was a question and the scholar could not answer the question, as that man walked away, Imam Ghazali, the janitor, the custodian, came up and said, "Here's your answer." And the man began laughing and making a scene, saying, "Who do you think you are? The great scholars of this mosque, they can't come to a conclusion of my question. How can you, a mere custodian, a mere janitor, do anything?" And when this scene was made, when this ruckus was made, other people rushed, the scholars rushed to see what was going on. Imam Ghazali quickly made a getaway. He escaped. And they realized that he had the right answer. And why did he leave? Because he didn't want any hubris or pride affecting him. Because he realized no matter what good you can do for people, through books, through investments, through contributions, if you are not good to people, they will not care for you.